So today's class is on Facebook advertising, and we do a lot of things in listings to leads. We have ways to, our social media integration is super strong. We have ways to capture leads in print. We have ways to capture leads in your CRM. You can like blast things out. We've got a recruiting platform, but when it comes to lead capture, one of the fastest and most economical ways of capturing leads is actually from Facebook. And so let's kind of get into it. Now, I want to sort of say, when using Facebook, we can help you get both buyers and sellers, okay? And there's definitely, kind of a quality question of leads, but we're going to I'm going to address that as we're going through the different kinds of leads that you can do. So first of all, I want to just talk about how you get set up, right? You log into your account. When you first log in, you're going to see here that you can connect to social media. I'm going to click that here. And this is for social media auto posting. This is a smart thing that every agent should do. You should dust off your passwords for Twitter, LinkedIn. If you use Gmail, that means you do have a YouTube account. You may not know that. I would recommend that you do that because we're going to auto post virtual tours to your YouTube channel. YouTube is owned by Google, so if people are looking for your property, and homeowners actually look, they'll usually give you a week, and then they'll say, hey, I want to Google and see where I'm showing up. YouTube is always page one of any search on an address. So these are just things that you should do. This is not ads, these are free posts, but they do capture leads, so it's kind of good on working on that here. Here is where you connect on your, for connecting for your ad account. And you can do it here, but I'm actually gonna go to another section because I wanna go to the profile and really talk about how to connect social media, because I think it's a little bit easier to understand here. On the profile, you can go to auto posting and you can connect all four of those platforms I showed you. And then you go to listings. And I recommend that you deselect these so that these two boxes are empty, and then you copy and paste. This just makes it very simple. And this is pulling dynamic information off the listing, and then it's going to post it to these social media accounts that you connected prior, okay? So that's for free posts, right? Now, when you come over here to the ad section, well, an ad is different, still connected to Facebook, so it's gonna look a lot like, oh, I gotta connect to Facebook again, but it's actually two different APIs, two different software programs within Facebook that we're connecting to. So when I click on mine, my page looks like this. If you've never logged into Facebook, in our system, your page won't look like this. It will have one big button in the middle of that white section, and it's going to say connect to Facebook. And when you click that, it's going to take you to a Facebook page. It's going to show you your name, and you say yes. And then when you click yes, it takes you to the next page, which is what business pages do you want? And you can definitely post, there that you want to, you choose one or multiple business pages, okay? Now, when you do that, I want to point something out. You see here where it says there's a green box and it says last synced an hour ago with Facebook. There's going to be a yellow box here. And I definitely want you to take advantage of it. The first thing it says is click to accept the terms of custom audience terms. And you click that, it takes you to Facebook, and there's one big button at the top that says accept. You click accept, and then you close that, and you come back here. You never have to go back there. And then if you refresh this page, that yellow box will have a new box that says turn on retargeting. Now, retargeting, I'm going to talk about a little bit later here, but retargeting is very powerful if you want to convert leads, okay? And that's a big thing, because capturing leads, I'm going to show you how to capture leads, and capturing leads is cool. But when you convert leads, that's when you start getting paid on leads. So you definitely want to know how to do that, and turning on the custom audience and turning on retargeting is going to make it easier for you to convert leads. So let's let's keep going and talk about that. So once you've connected it, you'll have 3 green buttons: create a listing ad, create a landing page ad, and create a PDF guide ad. Once you've created retargeting custom audience, you'll get this button over here. I'm going to save that blue button, create audience, for last. Okay. So let's kind of go through it, and let's click create a listing ad. I'm going to do an ad. I've got an open house here. Okay. So I'm going to choose that property, leave it on lead ads, and click create an ad. Okay. And I'm going to show you that this ad is good to go. All you got to do is click publish. Now, if you've ever run an ad on Facebook, you might remember that there are 3 pages on Facebook to create an ad, and probably something like 10 or 12 buttons that you got to click to have an ad approved correctly and to get the kind of results that you want. There's a lot to do on Facebook. So on this page, we actually have Facebook's software, Facebook's ad software, right? And so we've taken all that, and we can tell when you click a property what you're trying to get to, and we click all the buttons and check all the boxes for you automatically. So if you're in real estate, I think you really need to be running ads through our system if you want to get leads and not waste a lot of time, okay? Because it's real easy to make a mistake inside of Facebook, and it's almost impossible to make a mistake here. All you've got to do in this case for this open house is click that green button that says publish, okay? And that's the simplest thing. So let me show you what happens when you publish that. You see this ad over here on the right, says open house. Now mine's sponsored by Listings to Leads, but yours is going to be sponsored by your business page. It's going to say learn more down here. But let's go over to Facebook real quick. I'm going to click on just the news feed. Your ad, like this, will show up on the news feed, right? This is Motley Fool's ad. So it's usually like the second or third post when you start scrolling on Facebook is going to have an ad. So this ad right here is going to be right here, in this case, for anybody living within 15 miles of Berkeley, okay? Now you can add other towns, right? You could add, you might want this ad to show up in multiple towns, so you can add multiple towns. You can even expand your radius. We default to a $35 ad for 7 days. You can change that. You have to have a minimum of $5 a day, so keep that in mind. But this ad will go out and it will reach everybody living within 50 miles of these 2 towns. And you see here where it says learn more on this ad. Well, we have that same kind of button there. So if somebody clicks on the ad or clicks on learn more, this little window pops up and it says, would you like this information? And then the answer is yes, submit. But in the form is the pre-populated name, email, and phone number from that person's Facebook profile. And everybody needs their active phone number and email if they lose control of their account and they want to get back in. You need that in there. So those numbers, we're hearing 75% of them are accurate and correct. So that makes it really great and easy to capture leads, okay? Very simple. Choose your property and run publish. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a different kind of listing ad. But this time it's going to be for a home that is not open house, but a home that's sold. I know that a lot of you, it's just the nature of real estate today in the United States. Homes are selling in a flash, in just a matter of days. So you often think you have nothing to market, but actually marketing a home that's sold will get you listing leads. Notice the pre-written text over here. This home is sold. Your home's value has been affected. Click here to get your free home value, right? So that's what's going on. So you're going to get the contact information of those people. In this case, we're using the city where it is, and it's going in a radius there. Now, there's one thing I do like to recommend. This ad, you can just click publish and it could work for you. But there are a lot of people where that ad does not work very well. they run the ad, nobody clicks on it, they're not sure what's going on. And so there's a way of customizing this that I think makes a lot of sense. And that's by clicking advanced options and scrolling down to the area that says primary text. You see this text I've highlighted here, that's the same text that I'm highlighting over here. And there's some data points when you're selling a home that a lot of realtors forget to mention, like in contract in 5 days, right? I mean, so many people are saying that, like it went in contract so fast, I have no time to even market this thing, right? Multiple offers or sold, 5K above asking. Now you could add bullet points, right? 8 offers. There's a little emojis that you can add, but these data points are things that a lot of realtors neglect to put in, but it actually motivates people, right? 7 qualified buyers still looking, right? Because, you as a realtor, you're a professional in this space, so you know how to sell homes, right? But me as a consumer, if I have to sell my home, that's not really a fun experience, right? It's not something, unless I'm an investor flipping homes, I'm somebody, where moving is like, makes me nervous. If you're telling me I can do it fast, get good money, and you got buyers waiting, I'm going to probably be a little more compelled to interact with you. So those kind of data points can really help a sold ad work. Once you've made that change, just click publish and you're good to go. Okay. So those are just a couple kinds of ads. One was obviously for buyers and one was for sellers. But we've also got some other things over here. And these on the ad section, give me a second. I don't know how I got to my profile, but let's just give it a second. Well, what happened here? Sorry, guys. Can you hear me? Something feels slow here, and I am a little concerned that maybe my internet is knocking out. But let me click on ads again. Okay, thanks. It looks like you can hear me. Maybe I clicked on profile. Yeah, thank you, Nick. Let's give it a second while I get over to ads. Okay, so we're back on ads. I showed you how to create 2 listing ads. I also, I mentioned that you can create PDF guide ads, and these are really, really helpful for realtors. So we've got 27 PDF guides for homeowners, and we got another 27 for home buyers. So you make the choice of who do you want to talk to. If you want more listings, probably want to use the seller guides, right? So here's a good one down here, 12 mistakes to avoid. Now, when I hover over this, you see it says create ad. There's also a white button that says I can download this. And I recommend that you download it if you want to read it. You're going to recognize that you are branded on every page of those reports. So I definitely use those to get that out, right? But here, you do need to take an extra step, right? I'm going to type in Lafayette. That's where I am, right? And this is designed for homeowners, right? So if you type in your city, you can expand if you feel like, hey, I'll drive 30 miles to do some business. I'll expand my radius. But we do have a $50 ad now. And the reason why that's more expensive than the buyer ad is seller leads cost more on Facebook, okay? A seller lead on average is $5.75 a lead. So if I'm running a $50 ad, you could probably expect maybe 9 leads, right? Now, one thing, when I say the average cost is $5.75, that's because sometimes in some parts of the country it's more expensive, and in other parts of the country it's less expensive. Since I don't know where you're sitting, I'm just going to give you the average number. But when you run ads, you're going to sort of see what's going on. So to make this ad work, you choose the report you want and you click publish. That's it. You don't need to do anything more than that. That's going to be a 7-day ad. In this case, it's looking for sellers. And once you run the ad, it will sit on your ads page. It'll also be in your ads manager on Facebook. But right here, you're going to see it. You can turn it off if you want. You can see what your how many people saw it. You can see your cost per lead, things like that. Right. So definitely, that's something that I recommend that people do every week. Run one PDF ad. Now you can create landing page ads. We do have landing pages, and there are 3 that we create for you automatically: down payer assistance, free home value, and new construction. Right. But I'm going to just do the free home value one because this is a kind of a well-known report. I'm going to just do it here. I'm going to click create an ad. There we go. And I'm going to just type in Lafayette. Okay. Now, the reason why I am showing you this is not because it's a great ad, right? I'm showing this to you because this is something that a lot of realtors think you got to do to get more listings. And it's not the best way to get listings. You can run an ad. As you can see, mine's sponsored by Listings Leads. Yours is going to be sponsored by your business page. But you notice you can't really target. In a few years back, you could target by zip code, by city. You could say, I need people to live in that city. You can't do that anymore. So the targeting makes this ad, or the lack of targeting makes this ad kind of not very effective. Okay. You can do it, but you don't get high quality listing leads. So if you want listings, what should you do? Let's take a little break. Let's talk about our listings to leads mastermind group. Now, our mastermind group is a private group on Facebook. The weird thing about it, though, is that you can't see it if you're not in it. So the easiest way to get in the group is to go over here into your account and go to the support page. And in this box, say, hey, would you add me to the mastermind group? And the reason why I'm telling you this is where my partner Scott and I talk about a lot of what we're pushing, new technology. We just pushed a bunch of new technology as of December and January. And you would hear about it. You'd see it right here. But then right here, you're going to see that this is where we put our top tools. Every time I record this twice a month, top tools to get more listings. Okay. On this one, I actually concentrate on what you do if you don't have listings, right? How do you get more listings? So I would definitely recommend, if you want more listings, to go watch that. And you'll find that this particular kind of ad is at the bottom of my list. Okay. It's actually not the bottom. It's second to the bottom. I'll let you guess what is at the bottom. And what is the bottom of the list of things to do to get listing leads is to copy the embed code for a landing page of what is your home worth and put it on your own website. Realtors like to do that because they think that's a great thing to do too. And it's the last thing. That's the last thing I'd recommend. If you want to know all the other tools that get really effective seller leads and get listings for our clients, I recommend you watch this video. So if we go back to ads, we talked about the 3 kinds of ads to run: create a listing ad, create a landing page ad, and create PDF guide ads. Are there any questions about that process? Because I'm going to kind of add and talk about some other factors, but these are the basic kinds, okay, that you can run. So one thing just from here, I want to give you like the ad strategy that I recommend for all realtors. And this is specifically what I recommend for new realtors or realtors with no business, okay? So if you're sitting there and you've got no listings and people are not calling you all the time, this is what I would recommend. I would recommend that you create a listing ad once a week for like 25, 30 bucks, right? Any status you want. You can even borrow the listing and put it in here and run the ad, okay? Now, you know how to do that because we just did that. Then I would also recommend during the same week that you run another ad, 20, 30 bucks for buyers or for sellers, right? You decide who you want to talk to more. You could run a landing page ad, but I just think it's easier to do a listing ad and do a PDF ad. If you want to do like a new construction ad or even a free home value ad, down payment assistance, you do. You can even create your own custom landing pages and then run an ad on that as well. But simply create a listing ad every week, create a PDF guide ad, put 25 on each if you want, $25. That gets you to $50 a week. That's a $200 ad spend per month on Facebook every month. What does that, what do you get for that, right? What do you get? What's your response? Your business page is going to be seen 15 to 20,000 times for that money, okay? Sponsored by your business page, 15 to 20,000 times. If you're a new realtor, you have no name recognition. Nobody knows you're a realtor, right? Only your friends and family know that you're a realtor. So you need to have a bigger pipeline. How do you build that? You go here and you run these ads. Like I said, 15 to 20,000 people every month are going to notice you're a realtor. Now you're also going to capture probably 100 to 200 leads, depending on the kind of ads you're running, every month. And those are people that you're getting name, email, and phone number. You can text them, you can send them emails, you can do everything you can to get those people into a conversation with you so you can, close some business. That's really, simply put, what every realtor should be doing. 2 ads a week, run them through our platform. You're not going to make mistakes. The leads will be emailed to you directly. You can go to your profile here and listings to leads and connect your CRM, and then from there we're going to drop them automatically in your CRM. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of new things that we kind of launched over the winter that I think you definitely want to know about. One is in the listing section, and that is you can go to listings and go into settings, and on settings you can now click on ads and say, hey, I want listings to leads to run ads for me automatically. I want anything that's just listed or open house or just sold, I want to run an ad on those properties, right? And you can put your top budget, right? You can say, oh, I only want to spend 200 or 300 a month, right? And if you have listings that are in your account that reach those, that have those statuses, we're going to run an ad. You can even say, I want a maximum of 2 ads a week, right? Over here is just some previews of what ads look like, but that's how you turn it on to have us do it for you automatically. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to run ads automatically, but you can. Now, also from the listing side, if you click on market listing, the first thing we do is drop you on create a Facebook ad. Okay, there are a lot of other things that we create for you automatically with the listing. Social media posts, flyers, print letters, postcards, sign writers, all kinds of great stuff, right? But if you just want to run an ad, just click create an ad. It's really, really easy, okay? So that's there. And then there's another thing that's, I kind of mentioned earlier, but it's in the ad section that I want you to know about. So this part is kind of techy, and I'm going to try not to get us in the weeds, but it's a really, really important, powerful feature in Facebook that we have automated, that we have made so simple. It's something that I can probably tell you 1% of realtors even know it exists, and fewer than that know how to do it, know how to use it. So I'm going to tell you right now what it is, and it's called retargeting. So when you come here, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but when you come here and you connect your ad account, it's going to have these 3 green buttons, but it's going to have this yellow bar that says accept the custom audience terms. And you should click that link in there and go over there, and it's going to take you to Facebook and accept those terms, then come back to this page and refresh it. And then that yellow message will say turn on retargeting. All right. So what does that mean when you turn on retargeting? Well, it means that I can say, hey, I'm going to create a seller PDF guide. And I'm going to do the 5 dangers of overpricing. You can do this, very normally. I already showed you how to do it. I'm going to type in Lafayette one more time. And here. But if I click this button that says retarget current leads, what does that mean? Well, when you turn on retargeting and custom audiences, it tells us, listings to leads, to create a file in your private Facebook account, okay? And it tells us, take every lead that you capture anywhere in our system and add it to that file. And as you can see, you're gonna have one that's called L2L buyer and seller audience, okay? And what that tells us, what that tells in this case, in this ad, this says, hey, I want to run this ad on the 5 dangers of overpricing, and I want everybody within 15 miles of Lafayette to see it, but I also want all my other old sold leads, not sold leads, all my leads to see this, okay? This is retargeting, right? I hope you know that when you capture a lead, you should be kind of touching that lead multiple times, because leads don't convert in 1 call or 2 phone calls. You need to really reach out multiple times. And ideally, you've got a CRM dripping on them and you're sending texts. But here you can run ads and then stay in front of them on Facebook, okay, or Instagram. It'll go to Instagram at the same time. So that's something that I definitely recommend that you are doing. But I got to give you a couple caveats here. When you turn it on, that tells listings to leads to take any new leads and pop them in your file. But Facebook won't allow you to retarget until that list has 1,000 leads, okay? Now that might sound like a lot of leads. 1,000 leads is a lot, no doubt. But I can tell you our clients generate a lot of leads if they're using our tools, right? I got an example here that just came in December of last year, where Heidi generates 447 leads in the month of December at 8 cents a lead from Facebook, right? Now, that's an outlier. I have not seen 8-cent leads in a long time. But the one thing that Heidi was doing is something that a lot of realtors don't do, is she was marketing through December in the winter, when a lot of realtors take a nap until spring comes. And she takes advantage of that time because she's got less competition and there are fewer ads competing with her on Facebook. So she's getting 8-cent leads, right? So if she keeps doing that, she's going to have 1,000 leads real fast. And when that file is 1,000 leads deep, it's going to pop up here and you're going to be able to retarget them, right? So this is how you convert leads. Now, I want to point out something here. I'm not going to go into it too much, but there's something here that says a lookalike audience. And if you're writing anything down, I would recommend that you write down lookalike audience and special ad category audience. And go over to YouTube and see what that is on Facebook. I'm going to tell you what a lookalike audience is. And it's really crazy powerful. All right. So imagine that you have a list of leads that you bought from Zillow or Realtor.com, or you got a list of leads in your CRM that have just been sitting there doing nothing for however long of a time, right? Well, you could go to ads here, and if you said, hey, now that I've connected the custom audience thing and I turned on retargeting, I can now create my own audience. So you put all of those people in a file and you make that Excel file look like this, and then you upload it. You call it my stale Zillow leads, right? So you can upload that Excel spreadsheet of leads, and then it will be one of those groups that you can use in your retargeting, right? So if you're an agent that has been in the business for a while and you got thousands of leads in the CRM, you absolutely should be taking advantage of this. And every time you run an ad, target those people. You know they're interested in real estate, and you're just staying in front of them anytime they log into Facebook, right? So that's a really smart thing to do, is create that audience. So if I go back here and I say, hey, I'm going to market this open house now, right? And hey, that's not what I'm looking for, open house. Create an ad. Well, I can retarget my old leads, right? I just click on retarget and do my L to L leads and my old CRM leads, right? And you would just have, you can have multiple files in there. That is great if you like to convert leads. And let me remind you, you get paid when you convert leads. You don't get paid when you're capturing leads, okay? So that, if you like to convert leads, I definitely recommend you get the custom audiences turned on and you retarget. So let me tell you a story that's even more complicated than that one, and see if you can hang on, because it's really powerful. You see this lookalike audience? Now this one you have to do inside Facebook, but that's why I want you to go to YouTube and see how you do it. So let's say that you created a file, a custom audience called My Old Zillow Leads, right? You could then tell Facebook, you have to log in and click through some buttons and say, I want to create a lookalike audience. And they'll say, oh, great, of what? And you can say My Old Zillow Leads, my list of old leads there. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know, I don't know what you read about social media, but there's something, there are often articles, news, saying like Facebook knows way too much about you. They're following you, they're listening to you, every app you use is giving information to Facebook. Like, it sounds pretty negative, right? It's like your privacy is really at risk. And there may be a lot of truth to that, right? But a lookalike audience allows you to take advantage of that. So if you say, hey, I want you to create a lookalike audience of 1,000 people that look and act like those people in my Zillow file, right? So you paid for those Zillow leads, and you did or didn't do transactions with them, but you paid good money for them. So you could say, hey, give me another list of people that are just like those people. And so what do? They go take their algorithms and their software, and they just start crawling all the people that live in your area that do the same things as those people that are your Zillow leads. If they golf, if they go to restaurants, if they travel, if they do whatever, Facebook knows. They know a lot more about those Zillow leads than you know, right? And now you're able to create another parallel audience that's just like it, and then you can drop them in this as well. So you're really targeting in a really high-tech way that honestly you had no idea existed, 30 minutes ago. Something really powerful I recommend. Look at the special ad audience creation too, because it's even more powerful. It's for real estate ads. So that's a really kind of techie, like very few people, realtors, understand it. It's something that I definitely want all of our clients to understand, because if you use that, you're going to convert more Facebook leads, okay? And it's converting when you get paid. One other cool thing, it's not actually an ad, but there's a new social tab. If you haven't seen our call in a while, we added this, I think, in December. We can auto post content to your page. And to your social media pages. So when you come here, it's going to ask you to connect to your social media, and you can connect all your social media platforms. And then it's going to say, how frequent do you want it? You can make it every other day or even every day, and choose a time, save it. But what you're posting is content about design, content about bathrooms, garages, right? Patios, outdoor living, right? Maintenance, just soft real estate concepts that keep your social media platforms fresh. So I definitely recommend that you choose some of these or all of them, and have us auto post for you, okay? So that's kind of my story for Facebook ads. Any questions about that? While I'm waiting for questions, I'm gonna address one thing that I get asked, and I want to give you the answer since you're on this call. There are a lot of realtors, not a lot, but there are realtors that want to get buyer leads. I know that might be shocking because I know a lot of people don't. And I've shown you the way to get buyers. And I mentioned that there's a call in our mastermind group, which talks about the top ways to get listings. But there are some people that feel like, I don't have any listings and I don't have any buyers, but I want to get buyers. So I'm going to create a landing page for buyers, right? And let's look at mine. I think I got a custom landing page for buyers in Alamo right here. Okay. Now this isn't actually, I didn't customize it. I just sort of popping on it. But when you do that, when you create a custom landing page for buyers and you say sign up for a free list of homes in any town, that doesn't work very well. And that's because the real estate market consumers, they already know, like, hey, I don't need to go sign up and wait for you because I can go to the internet and find properties all day long in any town I want. So creating a custom buyer landing page, it's not very effective unless it's a particular kind of home, right? Now this one I made, I just setting up an office in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And this is, it starts off very generic. There's a picture of a suburban neighborhood, and then it says something about down payment assistance, which we really should change that. That text is meant to be modified. But I'm trying to explain to you like when you want to modify things, right? And when you want to use a custom buyer landing page. Now, Punta Cana, it's a kind of a really luxury resort area in Dominican Republic. And if you're buying homes there, they're really kind of a specific kind of home, right? You're living in a gated community, there's golf and tennis courts, all that stuff. So having a unique page for that would make some sense. If you are focused on waterfront property, customizing a page for waterfront property could make some sense, right? If you're working in a particular development, or maybe it's golf course properties, or maybe horse, acreage kind of ranch kind of properties. Well, creating a custom page for that can be effective. It's not effective in just like, hey, sign up for a free list of homes in Lafayette today, right? It's not very effective to do that. So I just wanted to point that out, because whenever you create a landing page, a custom one, and you go to ads, you can actually run an ad and drive people to that page. But it's not the most effective thing for the reasons I just told you, which is everybody knows I can look at properties online all day long, right? So that won't work for you. If you want buyers and you want to, the fastest, easiest way to get buyers is on Facebook. And I didn't mention this earlier, but even if you don't have your own listings, you can go to the listings page here, and there's a green button at the top of the listings page that says add listing. When you click that, you're going to have the option of grabbing a listing. So if you can ask an agent, like, hey, can I borrow your listing and run some ads and get some buyers? If they say yes, go over here, drop in the zip code and the MLS ID, deselect this so we don't create a YouTube video, click grab. Okay. And we're going to pull that listing in, and it's going to sit in your account just like this. And at that point, you can say, well, I want to market a listing with Facebook, right? Number one thing, you're going to create an ad right here. It's that easy. So you can borrow listings and run ads and still get both buyers or seller leads from Facebook, okay? So any questions on what we covered here? That's kind of my story. Well, then let me tell you, get in the mastermind group. You get in the mastermind group by going to the support page in your account. This call is being recorded and it will be in the mastermind group hopefully later today. Okay. So That's all I got for you. Stay on Facebook. I'll tell you this. So let's see how many people are still here. Yeah. So there's one thing that is changing that is affecting Facebook. Okay. Now, there's two things, but I'll tell you. One, it's actually not affecting our lead capture. I don't know if you know this, but Facebook has made some changes. No, not Facebook. Apple, the Apple company, has made changes to their apps, and for certain kinds of ads, they have become not effective. Okay, but for the way that we do things here, it has not affected us at all. Our clients are still generating a lot of leads. Another thing that's affecting Facebook is TikTok. And TikTok is a new social media app. It's got a lot of excitement. It's got a lot of really fun videos on it, but there's no way to capture leads from it. Okay. There are ways of building followers, but you can't actually activate them very easily. So until we sort of like figure that one out, I'm not going to be talking about it. I'm just letting you know, like, hey, we are looking at it and we think about it. But what I've shown you today in terms of lead capture, it's not even, there's no possibility of doing anything like that on TikTok. You can just grow your networks. That's about it. Yes. Okay, I see a question here. Real estate team, in which LDL is the team leaders. Is there a way for me to get access to the mastermind group? Yes. Yeah, log into the account, and this is true for all of you. Log into your listings to leads account. This is how you get in the group. And put a message right here in this box and say, hey, can you add me to the mastermind group? And they will, they'll help you get in there. Yeah. I hope that makes sense there. If, by the way, since you are with a team, I don't know how your team is shaped, but we do have discounted team accounts if you got multiple people that need access. We have team and office accounts, so it always gets cheaper when you have more agents. So everybody, that's my information for today. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna put it, our support team will put it in the mastermind group. It should be there in a few hours. But I don't see anything. So thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Continue to run ads on Facebook. It's a great place to capture leads, both buyer and seller leads, whether you have listings or not. Okay. Take care, everybody. Keep safe, and get in the mastermind group and check out what we're doing. Check out what other people are doing. You'll learn a lot there. Thanks. Bye-bye.